Warning, the following is rated S for SSSSSSSS.
Beep 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 spoilers.
If you want your virgin eyes to be left unscathed, you shouldn't watch this.
Vice! You dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace. How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us!
The game Google seems to think doesn't exist because Automata smited it from search results. NieR is an ARPG that was developed by Cavia, trademark, rest in peace, in 2010 and was the last game they ever released, as Platinum Games abolished their existence from the game industry when they took over for Automata. No! This is NieR's time to shine. You've had your moment. Now go back to your shelf. I said go! Not gonna lie, when I first booted this baby up, I asked myself, what kind of low-budget, tank control, hashtag where's the damn target button, can't decide what genre I belong to, prehistoric, Dark Souls wannabe bullshit is this square? Then I heard Kaine sung for the first time, and now I'm a baby bit hooked. It's just so beautiful. So here we go on a 106-hour-long journey, plus a 6-hour speedrun to get the platinum for this game that I have no footage of because the PS3 is a law-abiding console that bows down to HDCP and I don't have an HDMI splitter to bypass it. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it that yes, I wasted 5 days and nights on earning myself this platinum-coded virtual reminder that I super mega ultra have no life. NieR is a direct spin-off, but also the unofficially official sequel to the Drakengard series, and takes place in the timeline that carries out after the 5th ending, Ending E, of the first Drakengard. Over 1,000 years later, once the state of the Earth has decayed from the aftermath of the White Chlorination Syndrome, which nearly wiped out all of humanity. It's fine, guys, totally fine. We just have to separate our souls from our bodies and place them in their corresponding shells. I repeat, we just have to separate our souls from our bodies and place them in their corresponding shells. You play as a 40-ish-year-old dad named NieR, or whatever the heck you want to call him really, because this game has customization. Well, barely. You can name the guy and pick the stick he pokes things with, and that's about it. But this is an RPG after all, and we need to establish impersonal boundaries so as to make way for unconditional love and attachment to the fictional entities within the game for the sole purpose of merchandise! Because, yes, I am a sucker for all the memorabilia. Oh, would you look at that? For $69.99, $81.98, you can pre-order a plastic piece of bullshit from none other than the corporate king himself, Square Enix, to have a certain hussy hussying around on your shelf. Yes. I'll take 20. Since all adventures need purpose apparently, you race, roll, and hip thrust your way around the world to find a cure for the black scrawl that has plagued your daughter Yona and threatens her life. Now, about an hour into your journey, you'll slap a robot guardian thing named Hansel to high heaven and steal the egotistical talking spellbook it was guarding. Vice.
You will refer to me by my full and proper name. I am Grimoire Vice.
Haha, whatever you say, Vice. And after a couple of run-ins with the shit-hog boss Hook, you'll be accompanied by the walking sexy lamp Shade herself, Kaine. And lastly, an atomic nuke with the big tear jerks named Emil will come to ruin your day in the most beautiful way only 6 times? Now that we've introduced the important peeps, let's get this show on the boat. NieR as a whole doesn't exactly know what it is. It's an open-world third-person hack-and-slash, but it's also a linear, techy, top-down dungeon crawler shoot-'em-up. But it's also a puzzle-heavy platforming JRPG mishmash of stats and things and about 40 hours worth of collecting junk you may or may not need. AKA, look at the title, you dimwit, I did this so you don't have to. Don't subject yourself to the same torment I did, that's the point of the video. Plus, them views. Now, NieR itself is an all-around great experience with a story sure to catch you in the feels at one point or another. It is not a bad game. The gameplay, however... roll it. much like any live-action hack-and-slash beat-em-up type game, you have your basic dodge, block, guard break, and attack commands with a small variety of combos and charge-ups that become available as you unlock their tutorials via accidentally performing said combos because your beefy gamer thumbs felt a little adventurous and mistakenly mashed the triangle button mid-jump in a panic and... Oh fuck, wait, what did I just do? Oh wait, that was actually cool. Oh fuck, wait, how do I do that again? In essence, you could have been utilizing the Helm Splitter attack this whole time, but we wouldn't tell you the button combo or that it even existed until you happened to button mash its way into existence. Vice being an all-powerful spellbook, you have the power of...
Darkness.
Darkness! And the 7 deadly sins on your side, and can now use magic! Let me just let you in on a little secret. I highly recommend keeping Dark Lance and Dark Hand bound to L1 and R1 at all times unless you are here! In this case, cast the spell and all your problems will be solved. Ow! Speaking of keybinds, if the default control scheme isn't your thing, you can customize it to be a comfortable setup for you. For the most part. So even though the combat controls are a bit wonky, you aren't stuck with them and can make the gameplay flow a little better for yourself. You can even opt to swap out the ability to use block and or evade at all to equip more magic spells at once! To even out the fairness of AI versus player, in return for the game giving you immensely powerful dark magic and a knockoff witch time ability to kick Slim Shady butt with, you can't lock onto anything. Correct me if I'm just blind to the fact, but there is no targeting system, which is technically a plus in my book because the game would almost guaranteed be too easy otherwise. But, depending on restrictions that are unknown to me of the area you are in, NieR will attack either facing whichever way you directed the camera, or he will attack in the direction he is facing. There are 30 different weapons scattered throughout the world that are yours for the taking, if you can find or buy them all. Which honestly, it's not hard. I got all 30 weapons on my first playthrough unbeknownst to anything and everything. To obtain all 30 weapons, you just gotta follow 2 steps. 1, break every box. 2, complete every side quest, and you'll have your weapons collection go from 0 to 100 in no time. And although you have all 30 weapons divvied up between one-handed swords, two-handed swords, and spears for a little variety, they all actually have little variance from each other, and two-handed swords are so painfully slow to swing that they're almost essentially useless in taking a big ol' out of your enemies. However, you need all 30 weapons by the end of your 3rd playthrough to have a chance at obtaining Ending C. Otherwise, Ending D will rain hell upon your save file a baby bit prematurely. AKA, the be-all end-all. AKA, rip your save data because your system is getting wiped Men in Black status. Which means you might also want to have fully upgraded all your weapons by this point. Otherwise, you're in for round 2 of the world's most annoying scavenger hunt ever. That is, if you actually want this overglorified hunk of platinum pixels to brag to your gamer pals about how hard you can no-life. I did. Now what's this world's worst scavenger hunt, you may ask? Material gathering. Material gathering is essential to upgrading any and all weapons, so good luck getting the platinum without it. And it is one of the most arduous farming processes I have ever encountered. Okay, it's not as world-ending as I may make it out to be, as the amount of farming required to 100% this game is nowhere near as extensive as the likes of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. +1 for wasting slightly less of my time, square. You will pick up a hefty amount of the total materials you'll need naturally as you progress through the game in each subsequent playthrough, making the actual farming process significantly less tedious. When it came down to the tail end of the collectathon, I only had to farm the last several materials I needed over the course of about 2 days. However, because the drop rates of uncommon and rare items are so criminally low, even on hard mode, I spent those 2 days purely farming for materials. Also, just fuck these guys. Just give me the goddamn bracelet! Rule number 1. Don't do it. The experience growth rate is minimal at best. The most point-pinching point system I'd ever seen. I was only level 19 by the time I reached the 40-hour mark on my first playthrough, so you can't rely on stat boosting if you're having issues. Instead, you gotta get good and reconfigure your strategy, my dude, because this game has a thing for puzzle bosses too, apparently. To make up for the lack of stat growth, there are a variety of words you can pick up in battle to apply to your weapons and magic. These are hereby your stat boosts. You got your attack boosts, your magic boosts, your MP ranges, your minimal at best growth rate boosts, your minimal at best drop rate boosts, and a diddly of other things I never used because the aforementioned are all that matter. Remember how I mentioned a little something about an ending C and ending D earlier? Yeah, well, there's an ending A and B too, and you don't exactly have the luxury of picking which one you get at the end of each playthrough, because you actually have to play them in order. And don't worry, it's not some cryptic-ass alphabet soup of endings. Just so long as you know your ABCs, you are golden, pony boy. So don't pick ending D before you pick ending C, alright? Just trust me on this one, guys. Just Google which one is which and make sure C comes before D. I'm doing you a favor. And no, New Game Plus and the alternate routes don't merely add an extra 2 minutes of dialogue and depressing cutscenes to the game that add a baby bit of foreshadowed lore to give Square leeway to make a sequel to cash in on your thirst for a Bayonetta JRPG love child. Oh, would you look at that! From the start of your second playthrough, you are offered an extensive amount of insight into Kaine's background, reliving 3 of her most significant memories through the dreams she experienced while having been petrified for all of 5 years, to delve deeper into her personal lore and help introduce a whole new character to the game that had secretly been lurking in the shadows of her previous playthrough until now. How, you may ask? Oh, why don't you play the game and find out?
Sunshine.
Not only that, but you are given all the nitty-gritty details Square conveniently forgot to mention in the first playthrough, because now you can magically speak and throw shade for reasons, giving you a plethora of new dialogue and cutscenes, most of which are essentially prequels to each of the boss fights in the second half of the game, and I'm convinced they were conceived purely to make you feel like a terrible, terrible person. It worked. Now that you've got your priorities in order and have officially decided that you want to taste the sweet, sweet 0.2 seconds of bragging rights before I knock your sweet tooth in, that you are now a member of the I Love to Waste My Time Club, here's how you actually do it. Don't do this until you've done these quests and acquired these weapons. Collect 4 of these before— oh my god! Control the space-time continuum. Become as gods. Commit sheep genocide. Eat your alphabet soup and repeat after me. A, B, C, D! Speedrun the game. Matter of fact, speedrun all the goddamn bosses while you're at it too. And don't worry about the Combo Master trophies, so long as you heed my warnings and do every side quest. Seriously guys, there's only maybe 70 quests in the whole game, most of which take all of 2 seconds to complete. You can do it. This isn't my first platinum. It's my 10th. However, this is my first I platinumed blah-de-blah, so you don't have to, and there will be more. Eventually. So subscribble if you diggle, and I'll see ya in the near future. Okay, bye.